Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about, is LipSense right for you? So these are my personal thoughts about LipSense, and I'm kind of listing them as pros and cons. So I'll start off with the cons and then work on the pros, just end up with a lighter note. So the cons about LipSense that I've seen is there's a taste or a tingle for some. So the main ingredient is cosmetic grade alcohol, so the tingle disappears when the alcohol evaporates. Some people feel it strongly, but sometimes not. The taste is masked by the gloss. I think that's what people say, that they have that taste that they dislike. So that's one of the cons of using LipSense. But a lot of people, they can't really taste it at all, or they don't feel a tingle at all. So it depends on each person. It's an individual thing that I've noticed. The other thing that is a con is that it can feel drying when your lips are adjusting to the use of LipSense. So what you need to do is gloss and hydrate regularly. Your gloss, it has moisturizers in it, so once the moisturizers absorb, your lips feel a little bit more matte, and that's when the drying starts, so it's always good to keep that gloss on. The other thing that I've seen was that there's an application learning curve. So with most lipsticks, people tend to swipe back and forth on their lips, but when applying LipSense, that's not how it's done. It's done differently, and it's done in 3 thin layers, and there's no overlapping over the product where it becomes patchy, because alcohol removes alcohol, and that's one of the main components of LipSense. So the other thing is that there's no rubbing your lips or piercing your lips like that during application, because your lips will stick together and it'll be a little bit harder to work with. Those are the main components of the learning curve for that, but once you get that down, the only thing that you really need to perfect is how to apply it with one stroke rather than going back and forth, and how to apply it in the precision that you're looking for too. But there are ways to work around that. Another thing would be it's a 2-step system where it needs the color to apply. That's the first step, and then the second step would be the gloss to seal in the color and to protect your lips and also hydrate them. So it works in conjunction with each other. You can't do the color without the gloss, but you can do the gloss by itself. There are people who just want the color but not the gloss, so it doesn't work that way. It has to go with the LipSense gloss in order for the longevity of the product to take effect. I find that with some of the formulas, some of them work better than others on different people. For me, they apply really patchy, or when you wear them, it has lip lines like in between the, if you can see my mouth, the lip lines, it's more pronounced, and it can add to an aged look. But that's only for some of the formulas, and I find that those formulas need a little bit more drying time as well. It depends on the person, but you won't know until you actually try the formula. So that's one of the cons about the LipSense products, is the consistency with the formulas. But I mean, a lot of brands have that issue as well. I guess it really depends on the color. Moving on. It doesn't touch up as well once it's set. So LipSense color, once you've touched it up, and let's say you've made a mistake, like a large mistake, or it's like this section or something where you needed to touch it up, then I think it would be better off starting over again, because when you try and overlap, that's when you start getting the patchy effect, or it doesn't last as long because the layers weren't applied evenly. So I don't know, the way I think about it is, if you put on a piece of tape and then you took off a piece of that section and then tried to put another piece back on there again, or like a sticker, I mean, it doesn't work as well as it would as if you had just replaced the whole thing for that seamless finish. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is that the lasting time is shorter if you do a touch-up, or is what I personally have found. But I mean, for me, I'd rather just do it over again and have it done perfectly than have it done in sections and then have it wear off or come off differently or unevenly throughout the day. Cost. So cost seems to be a con as well. Up front it seems like a lot, but a tube of color lasts a very long time, so in the end you do get a lot of product, so make sure that you like your color. If you use it for daily use, it'll still last you a long time as well. So I mean, if you only need to apply it once a day, then really it should go for a while. So cost up front, it should end up balancing itself out, if not being cheaper than most other lipsticks if you wear them on a daily basis. An issue I've seen is that, again, with the alcohol being the main ingredient, the product becomes more temperature sensitive. So one of the recommendations is to not leave your LipSense in a hot car or in direct sunlight, because exposure to heat or extreme temperatures can alter the formula, because the alcohol, if it's too hot, will evaporate, and when it tends to vaporize, that's when the plastic container that it's in will probably start warping as well. It might change the formula too, so just keep that in mind to keep it out of extreme temperatures like a hot car. For myself, what I do is just apply once and then I leave the color at home, bring the gloss with me. I need the gloss to moisturize my lips throughout the day. Now, those are all the cons I can think of. If you do have some cons that you can think of, you can list them in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. But I'm going to move on to the pros of LipSense. So there are some good pros about LipSense that I find. What I found is that the company is vegan with the products that they create. It's cruelty free, so they don't test on animals, they test on people. It is lead free for their products. Now LipSense itself is wax free, but the gloss does contain a synthetic wax. The good thing about the wax is that it's a synthetic beeswax, which is bee friendly, so it has all the benefits of a beeswax, but also more permeable, so that the added moisturizers in the lip gloss, so the vitamin E, the shea butter, the emollients, they can moisturize and hydrate your lips because of the barrier that allows it to pass through compared to the standard beeswax. The other thing is that there's an excellent return policy if you're not satisfied with the product or you find issues with the product. So save your receipts. You can return your product for up to a year after your distributor, or directly to the SeneGence website. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but as a distributor, it's pretty easy for me to do a return from a customer or an exchange. The other thing I would say that's a pro is that barely any dry time is needed. So compared to other brands, when you put on the color on layers, and it says layers, so that would expect it to take a long time, but really when you put it on in thin layers, it should dry within 5 to 7 seconds per layer. So really it's a lot faster. So if people think that it would be an issue, it's actually the same as if you were applying a regular lipstick. So about the length of time to put it on, it's actually quite quick. So that's one of the good things about that. I do find that LipSense exfoliates your lips. So I used to have really dry lips, and now that I've been using it consistently, I haven't had an issue with that. My lips are more moisturized. I wouldn't say necessarily more plump, but they are hydrated, and the lip lines are less defined, I guess you can say. But I'm pretty happy with LipSense itself. I like the fact that you can customize the color that you wear. So because you work in layers of 3, you can use different colors to layer in between. So it doesn't have to be 3 layers of the same color. It can be 3 layers of different colors to customize the blend that you'd like that's more suited to your skin tone. So I find that Sassy Z might be too pink for me. So what I do is put 2 coats of Sassy Z and 1 of Dawn Rising for an extra shimmer, but also neutralizes the bright pink of the color on my skin tone, and it really works to match my skin tone or complement it. So that's one of the bonuses, is that you can fix or adjust your color to how you like it if you have the colors to do it with. So when I first started, what I did was buy a nude and I bought a bright red. So when you mix the two, you get something in between, or you can have your nude color or your bright color. So I mean, there's a whole spectrum in between that, and it's really good because the advertising says that 3 colors can produce up to 27 different colors. So depending how you layer it, it's a nice customization for putting on lipstick. So it can be anywhere from subtle to dramatic, depending on what you want and how you layer. Another thing that I like about LipSense, I know they say that they recommend you to use the Foops or the Oops remover, but you can use different makeup removers. It's not just their brand that you have to use, and it's just as effective to use other removers as well. So that's something I also like as well, because I mean, it does save you a bit of money, or a little bit of change, so that you have more money to buy more colors, obviously. I do appreciate that if I'm in a pinch and I don't have my Oops remover on hand, that I can use other things as well to remove my LipSense. The selling points for me with LipSense was that it's waterproof, it's smudge proof, it's extremely long wearing, so that really was a deal breaker for me. I never really used to wear lipstick because of the fact that it would wear maybe 5 minutes on me. It didn't matter what lipstick it was. It was because I either bite my lips together, or I eat food, I do a lot of things. I rub my lips to, I don't know, after I drink fluids or something, but I noticed that the color wouldn't wear for very long, which is why I never really wore lipstick, or I'd forget to reapply it once I did put it on. But ever since using LipSense, I find that the color, it has a great staying power. It can be hard to remove sometimes, but that's one of the beauties of it, is that it is a long wearing lipstick, and I can kiss my children. It still looks great on me at the end of the day as well. So I mean, that's the main pro for me, is what sold me and what made me become a distributor. If you can think of any other pros, then list them down below. We can all have a look and see what are benefits of LipSense as well as the cons of it. And really, I think that's it for this video. So thanks for your time. I hope it helped you decide if LipSense is right for you, and we'll see you again. Bye.